Hello. I'm gonna level with you. I'm gonna be straight with you. I'm in a foul, bad mood right now, and there was, a Hassan thread on Facebook, and I had to tell someone. It's like, your pets understand what you say, and he just wanted to be derisive and mocking, and then he said, "I say horrible, insulting things to my pets all the time, but I say it in a sweet voice, and that's all they care about." And I'm just like, are you bragging that you degrade and insult your pets? Wow. And you're trying to, like, okay, wow. Just the most incorrect thing I've ever heard, and from a piece of shit scumbag like that, nah. I mean, it's a block and move on situation, but I have to tell this story because it's one of the coolest things I've ever seen. And if you think that your pets don't understand the words you're saying, you're wrong. That's it. Here is a little story of our pet kitty Rudy showing and proving that they do understand words. I mean, we even have the button pads. The dogs have had the button pads. You seen those things? Dogs can, you say the word into the thing and the dog will hit it again because our animals, our pets, they understand what we say. They just can't talk back. They can't speak the language, but they can understand it. Just like me, I understand Japanese, but I can't speak it because my accent sucks. Anyway, let's get on with it. We had some company over. We're all in the living room. It was me, my wife, my mom, and our two guests. And we're talking for a little bit. And I went into the kitchen to get some water or something. And then I hear some cacophony. I hear the commotion going on. It's loco in the living room. I'm like, what's the hubbub? I'll go back in there, and my wife is like, there's a huge lizard in here. I don't even know how it got in. But the cats have chased it between your boots right now, and it's hiding there. And all three of our cats are huddled around my boots. They're right touching each other. And I said nothing in that room. I just walked back into the kitchen. And then my wife is yelling through the house, and she's like, "What are you doing in there?" And so I yelled back to the living room. I'm like, "I'm getting a Tupperware bowl and a paper plate so that I can get the lizard and put it back outside safely." I said all this in the other room. And Rudy pushes one of my boots aside, stamps his paw on the lizard's tail, and then gingerly picks the lizard up by its tail. And this lizard could tell. This lizard could tell Rudy meant no harm, because lizards can detach their tails to escape from predators in this situation. And it didn't do that. And Rudy just heads up high. He's doing the Teo step. He's walking all proud into the kitchen. And he just kind of looks up at me with a lizard in his mouth, and he just goes "Rah, rah." He's looking up at me like, I don't want the other cats to kill this lizard, and you said you were going to save it and you were going to take it outside and keep it safe. So here, I brought it to you. And I was just blown. My mind was blown, dude. And so I just put the Tupperware bowl under his mouth, and he looks down and drops the lizard in there. I put the plate over the top of it, completely backwards from the way you would normally do it. Normally you would put the bowl upside down on the floor, and then you flatten the paper plate and you shove it under the bowl, and then you lift them up and you can take the thing outside and preserve its life. But Rudy understood exactly what I was saying from another room without even looking at my body language. And my tone was actually kind of harsh because I was being loud so I could yell into the other room. But he still understood what I was trying to do, and he helped me with it. And there's that will always convince me our pets understand what we say. And more than that, what I think was really fascinating about Rudy is that if I'm laying on the couch and he's like looking at me, I'll tell him, come up. And he knows, okay, come up from the ground to the couch. And if I'm about to get up, I'll look at him right in the eye and I'll say, up, buddy. And he knows to jump off of me because I'm going to get up and I don't want to throw him around. He understands words. He understands sentence syntax. He's honestly one of the smartest cats I've ever seen in my life. But that's my real life story. But I want to add a Bible story in it because, obviously everyone believes the Bible. I do. I don't really care if you don't. One of my favorite stories in the Bible is the talking donkey. What was it? Barabbas, I think. He was asked to go curse some people because political people in the region, they didn't like the fact that there were a bunch of refugees living by the shore. Does that sound familiar? And so they asked this dude, hey, come curse these people and their entire bloodline so they never infest our lands again. And he was like, I don't do anything unless God tells me to do it. So y'all stay the night. I'm going to pray to God all night and we'll see what he says. And God says, don't go with these people. So they send another envoy. This time they send like haughty-toddy merchants with like 10 rings on each finger and like, $50,000 worth of necklaces and stuff like that. And they're like, hey, if you do this thing for us, you'll really please us and curry our favor. And he's like, I only care about currying God's favor. Y'all go upstairs, go to sleep, shut up. I'm going to pray to God again, and we'll see what he says. This happens 3 times. And the 3rd time is when God is like, all right, go with them. But I'm going to be watching you the entire time you do. And, I think that God was probably a little pissed at this point because this is like your parents told you no and you kept asking, right? So it's not really a yes. It's like, okay, I'll let you do what you want to do, but I'm going to observe you. And if you mess up one thing, you're done. You want to know what he messed up on? He kept going with them. After God has already told him more than once, no, he didn't just be like, oh, well, God really didn't want me to go. I shouldn't do this. And he didn't turn back around. He was just trying to argue with God. And you can't do that, especially when God gives you the authority to curse people. When he gives you that kind of power, you don't just go and do it because some human being asked you to do it. And God was pissed. So he sent his angel of death to stand in the middle of where homeboy was walking. He's on his donkey and he's going through a marketplace, and the donkey can see the angel of death, but the rider cannot. So the donkey's like, I don't want my master to get owned by the angel of death. That so he just like sidelines and smashes this dude into a wall. Hits his knee and his ankle up against the wall, and he's feeling embarrassed because there's all these people around, and it's just like everyone looks at me like I'm a celebrity, Everyone looks at me like I'm a cool guy. And now I look like an idiot because my donkey smashed me into a wall. So he's pissed at his donkey. Then it happens again in a vineyard, in an area where there are vineyards, and the walls, like there's one vineyard to the left, there's one vineyard to the right. And there's walls around the vineyards to keep animals from destroying the harvest. And it's narrow. I mean, we're talking Japanese residential streets and prefectures. It's narrow from one property to another. So his donkey, trying to avoid the angel, grinds him up into the wall, starts like tearing his fancy, gold threaded clothes apart against the walls. And he's even more mad at his donkey. The 3rd time, big surprise, this also happened 3 times. They're in a place where there's like no room to maneuver. And his donkey is like just grinding him, tearing the skin off him. I'm sure his face was getting bashed into the wall too. His donkey's just like smashed him like, no. You can't see that. You can't see that. If you touch that angel, you will die, dude. So after the 3rd time, the donkey, who can see the angel of death, passes by it. the dude gets off his donkey because he's hurt and he's injured at this point. And it even says, quote from this man, "I am so angry that if I had my sword right now, I would kill you." Angrily, he threatens the life of his own donkey. And then it says that God opened the donkey's mouth, and the donkey starts talking. Not only does it start talking, it starts using logic, reason, calling past accounts into the argument to defend its stance and its point. It's not just saying words. It's not just babbling like a child. It is forming a cohesive argument. It's like, how long have I been your loyal steed? You know, like 20, 30 years or something? Have I ever done anything to humiliate you, embarrass you, or injure you? In all of that time, have I not been a loyal mount for you? And the dude is like, okay, yeah, you have. You've never done anything wrong. In fact, this is the only time you've ever really done anything like, disobedient or made a fool of me. It's the only time you've ever done that. And then it says, God opened Homeboy's eyes, and then he could see the angel of death. And then he understood what his donkey was doing was protecting him. Now, I think there's a couple important things here, is that it doesn't say God opened the donkey's eyes, meaning in the natural state, those equines can see those things without any assistance from the Almighty God. They can just see those things all the time, naturally, which is really cool if you think about it. But it says it opened the donkey's mouth. It doesn't say anything. The Bible does say that the Holy Spirit will give you words to speak sometimes, or that God can speak through a person as a prophet. It doesn't say any of that. It just opened the donkey's mouth. The donkey knew these things, meaning the donkey had learned that language and knew that its master would understand those words if the donkey spoke them. So, yes, it had been building up a lexicon and a vocabulary, but because of the shape of its jaw and its tongue and its vocal cords, it simply was unable to speak human words until God opened the donkey's mouth. So, yeah, our pets do understand what we say. If you think otherwise, I just feel really sorry for your pets. That's about it. Thanks for listening. Appreciate y'all's time. Treat your pets like you would treat your own child. Don't speak ill to them or about them. Don't cuss at them. Don't swear at them. Don't insult them. Don't do that. It's messed up. Anyway, that's what I got for you. God bless. I'm out.